Hi everybody! After covering all the chapters in one shot and discussing the most important questions, it's time to revise the entire portion and get ready for the exam. In today's video, we will be revising some of the key topics from unit number 1. We will revisit the concept and make sure you are confident going into the exam. Alright then, without further delay, let's get started. Hey all of you, from unit 1 we are gonna revise these topics. From the first part, the components of the computer is very important topic. You will be getting 5 mark questions on it. Alright, before going into depth of it, let's read some of the definition. Here is the definition of computer. It's an electronic machine which takes input and produces some output. When we talk about computer, there will be two types of part. One is hardware and the other one is software. So what is hardware? It is the physical component or the parts which you can see or touch. It can be input device, output device, etc. And the other part is software. What is it? It's a command or we can say set of instructions. There are different types of software that we will discuss in a while. Let's take one simple example. Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, they are softwares. So now you can write the definition if it is asked in the exam. Define software or hardware. It's time to discuss the components of the computer. There are total 5 components. The first one is input device. With the help of input device, we take input. Look at the different input devices. Keyboard, mouse and mic. Here is the second component, that is output device. Output device is used to display the output. It can be monitor, printer or speakers. If you take example of any machine, it takes input, processes it and gives the output. Computer is also an electronic machine. It processes data. So for processing we need CPU. It's the brain of the computer. It has total 3 parts: control unit, arithmetic logic unit and registers. What's the usage of it? Basically, arithmetic and logic unit performs the arithmetic and logical operations. What control unit does? It controls and supervises the processing. And what are these registers? It's just like a storage. It holds the instructions temporarily. So ultimately, this CPU is used for processing data and instructions. So that was all about the third component of the computer. Now let's move ahead to the fourth one, that is primary memory. It's the main memory of the computer system. There are different types of main memory that also we are gonna discuss in a while. And we know that memory is used for storage. And apart from primary memory, there is secondary storage too, if you want to store data externally. So if you want to write the answer for this 5 mark question, you will be writing the description of each component of the computer along with its example. Alright, then we are moving to the next important topic, that is memory. Memory is nothing but the storage where we can store data temporarily or permanently based on its type. So there are basically 2 types of memory: primary memory, which is also called as main memory, and the secondary memory. So what's the difference between both of them? Primary memory holds data temporarily. If power goes off, data will also get vanished. But secondary memory holds the data permanently because it's an external storage, nothing related to power. Nowadays all the data will be on the cloud or on the server. But in our era, we used to have floppies, CDs or pen drive to store data externally. Whenever we talk about any storage nowadays, especially for mobile, we directly tell that we have these many GBs of memory. What is it? It's the unit to measure a memory. Just like we have liters to measure milk, meter or centimeter to measure distance, in this way we also measure the memory. So the smallest is bit, then 8 bits means 1 byte. After that, every higher unit will get multiplied with 1024 to the previous one. Look at the relationship. 1 kilobyte will be 1024 bytes. In the same way, we have MB, that is megabyte, then GB, gigabyte. So 1 gigabyte will be 1024 megabytes. After that, we have TB, that is terabyte. Followed by that, the next higher unit is PB, that is petabyte. Then EB and ZB. Now you can solve this question if you get it in exam. We got to know the smallest unit of memory is bit. In computer there are 2 bits. It can be 1 or it can be 0. We know that computer understand only binary language, that is nothing but bits 0 and 1. There is one more unit of memory. It is called as nibble. It is equals to 4 bits, or we can say as a half byte, because 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. Let's move ahead and check out the types of main memory. The first type is RAM and the second type is ROM. RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. RAM is further divided into 2 types, dynamic RAM and static RAM. Whereas this ROM gets divided into 5 types. On the motherboard, you will have this primary memory. Apart from that, you have one special type of memory. It is called as cache memory. We will discuss it also. Let's check out the first type, that is RAM, random access memory. The most important point is it is volatile. It means when the power goes, the content will get erased. And as we discussed, there are 2 types of RAM, dynamic RAM and static RAM. Alright, let's move ahead to the second type of memory, that is ROM. RAM is volatile but ROM is non-volatile. It means the content will not get erased even if the power goes off. It is generally used for read operations. Let's go through the types of ROM. The first is programmable ROM, that is PROM. The next one is EEPROM, erasable programmable ROM, followed by EEPROM, electrically erasable PROM. The fourth one is Flash EEPROM. And here is the last one, mask ROM. How we can modify the data which is already written to the ROM? Based on that, we have these different types of ROM. We know that CPU is very faster. It can perform millions of thousands of operations in a milliseconds. But what if memory cannot match that speed? For that only cache memory is placed in between primary memory and CPU to compensate that speed. Look at the definition. It's a high speed memory placed between primary memory and CPU. Look at the motherboard. Here is the CPU and there are different slots to fix some graphics card or memory. And here are some of the connectors to connect mouse, keyboard as well as speakers. And we will have some bus connections as well as battery. We understood that primary memory holds data temporarily. But what if we want to store large amount of data, that too permanently? Then we will go ahead with secondary storage. It is also called as secondary memory. The important one is hard disk. Hard disk looks like this. The storage capacity will keep on increasing day by day. It is generally used to take backup. Apart from hard disk, some years ago CD was also used for external storage. Then we have DVDs too. It could store more data than CDs. The next option is flash memory. There is one more, Blu-ray disc. So according to your syllabus, these were some of the secondary storage. Let's proceed to the next topic, microprocessor. Remember, processor is another name for CPU. So microprocessor means what? It is a compact version of CPU. So that is it. CPU shrunk down to a single chip. We already discussed that CPU will have arithmetic logic unit, control units and registers. Why CPU is now in a compact version? Because we can use it in a modern electronic devices. Then what does microcontroller mean? It is nothing but a small computer, or we can say mini computer, which has single chip. If it is a computer, it will have CPU, it will have memory, it will have input-output devices and other required peripherals. Microcontrollers will perform all the operations. Then where it will be? Can be in a household gadgets like microwave, washing machines and anti-locking braking systems. These are some of the examples. It can be in other systems too. So hope you understood the difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. Processor is nothing but a CPU. Controller is nothing but a mini computer. So in controller you will have everything including CPU, memory and other input-output devices. Whereas processor will have only CPU. What's the purpose of microcontroller? It can be used for specific purpose or some embedded task. and CPU can be used for general computing. You can install that CPU in any system. Here are some more differences if you get the question like this in the exam. Power consumption is low because the system will be on battery, whereas the power consumption of the CPU will be high. These are smaller and cheaper, whereas the CPU can be expensive. Hope you understood the difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. Let's move ahead. Look at the motherboard. The different components of the motherboard, they communicate through these connections. So this electronic pathway is nothing but bus. The way we travel from one place to another through different means of transport. In the same way, signals will pass from one component to the other component on the motherboard. The way we have different kinds of transport like bus, car, train, flight, in the same way we have different types of bus. The first is data bus. It carries data. The control bus is responsible for carrying control instructions. The movement of the carrying of memory addresses will be taken care by the address bus. And what's the job of the input-output bus? It will connect input-output and other external devices to the computer. So there are total 4 types of bus: data bus, control bus, address bus and input-output bus. According to their name, they are performing their jobs. As we discussed, computer has 2 types of component. One is software and the other is hardware. Hardware are the physical component of the computer. What about the software? It is a set of instructions. We cannot touch it, we cannot feel it, but we use it. So let's discuss what is software and its type. The first type is system software. It has 2 types. First is operating system and second is language processor. What about the second type? It is a application software. Based on its purpose, there are 4 types: packages, utilities, customized softwares and developer tools. Let's discuss them in detail. So in system software, the first is operating system. It acts as a mediator between hardware and the users. Generally, users will give instructions, and how these hardwares will get to know that they have to behave accordingly, software will communicate those instructions to the hardware. That's why operating system is a manager between hardware and the users or between the programs. It is a very important software, we know that. Without operating system, our computer cannot work, and generally Windows operating system we use. It manages different programs, it manages memory, even operating system manages different devices connected to the computer. Here is the next important task: managing the file creation, deletion and organization. It even secures the system and manages the error. We know Windows operating system very well because in our computers generally we will have Windows. It has an interface called as GUI, graphical user interface. Everything we can see, and by clicking or double clicking we can operate it. But you know, when I started studying computer science, we were not having Windows. Then what we were using? We were using MS-DOS. It is called as DOS operating system. That operating system looks like this. The way now command line looks. The screen will be black and you need to write whole command to do a single operation. Lucky you have to just click and perform your task, but we need to write that whole line of command to perform that task. So apart from this, nowadays we have different interfaces. Let's discuss that. Here is the third one, touch based interface, the interface which you see in mobiles. Then we have voice based interface, just like we give the voice command to Alexa or Siri. These are voice based interface. There is one more fascinating and interesting interface that is called as gesture based interface. It is based on some physical movements like waving your hand or nodding. You might have seen this kind of kitchen chimney where you need to just wave your hand and it will start operating. So we discussed total 5 types of interface: command line, graphical user interface, touch based, voice based and gesture based. So with that we covered operating system from the system software. The second system software which we are gonna discuss is language processors. What is it? It is nothing but a translator which converts one language to another language. We know that when politicians and celebrities goes to the other countries, they need translator because they don't know all the languages. So in computer systems also we have translator which will translate the source code to the object code. There are three types of translator. The first is assembler, second is interpreter, and the third is compiler. Which language computer understand? It understands machine level language. That's why we need translator which translate other languages to the machine level language. So the assembler will convert the assembly level language to machine level language. We have one more translator, that is nothing but interpreter. Interpreter will convert high level language to machine level language. And the third translator is compiler. It will also does the same task of converting high level language to machine level language. Then what's the difference between them? Interpreter takes line by line and convert the program, whereas compiler takes whole program at a time and converts to the machine level language. Which are these high level language? It can be C++, Java, Python. So which language has interpreter? We can take example of Python. Python is a interpreted language because it has interpreter. And what are the examples of compiler? C++ and Java. That's why compared to Java and C++, Python is little slow because interpreter converts the program line by line. So hope you understood both the system software, operating system and language processors. There are three language processor: assembler, compiler and interpreter. Now let's move ahead to the application software. From the name itself we could understand that we are going to apply this software somewhere. It means it will be for specific application. Like hospital will have their own software, or if you want to book the tickets online you will have different software. If you will go to bank you will have different softwares. Understood, right? So here are different types of softwares which have different applications. The first one is packages. What are these packages? It is nothing but some general purpose softwares with the help of which people can use the computer for their own purpose by installing those packages. In packages we will have some functionalities. Look at the different categories. There can be some word processing softwares like WordPad, Notepad. There can be some spreadsheet software like Excel, database management systems like MySQL. Even there can be some desktop publishing software and graphics and multimedia presentation softwares like Canva. Alright, let's move ahead to the second one, that is utilities. These are the software used for housekeeping functions. Housekeeping means for the well functioning of the computer systems. Here are some of the names of utilities. Text editor, we know that why we use text editor for writing the text. Backup utility for taking backup. Compression for compression of the files. We compress the file so that it will take less storage area. We have disk defragmenter. It is used for arranging the files. And here is one more utility, antivirus software, which will take care of the viruses. So utilities are the softwares which will be responsible for the smooth functioning of the computer. The third category is customized software. These are the softwares which are specially made, customized according to the user's requirement. And what are developer tools? It is used for creating, testing and debugging softwares. So hope you understood all four types of application softwares. So in case if you get this question in exam, I hope you will be able to write it. Hope all the topics are clear to you now. If we talk about the questions based on these topics, you may get these type of questions. If you wish to, you can take a screenshot. And here are some more questions. If you want the answers for these questions, there are videos on it in the playlist. You can go through it. Even there are some shorts based on the important questions. I would highly recommend you to go through these videos. Great job! We have revisited some of the important topics of unit number 1. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In the next video, we will be covering some more topics from the same unit. So until then, keep revising, stay focused. Good luck. I will see you in the next video.